the diversity in India, and uh, we are on the discussion of the geographical uh, diversity in India mainly, and we are discussing about the cold deserts of Ladakh, and now we have to start uh, further. So today we are discussing Ladakh's diversity. So Ladakh is a desert in the mountain in the east of Jammu and Kashmir. Very little agriculture is possible here, since this region does not receive any rain and covered in snow for a large part of the year. There are very few trees that can grow in the region. For drinking water, people depends on melting snows during the summer months. It is very tough. People here keeps sheep and goats. The goats in this region are special because they produce pashmina wool. This wool is prized, and pashmina's shawl cost a lot of money. The people in Ladakh carefully collect the wool of the gods and sell these to trades for Kashmir. Pashmina shawl are chiefly woven in Kashmir. The people eat meat and milk products like cheese and butter. Each family owns some goats, cows, and does yak cows. Being a desert did not mean that Ladakh did not attract its share of trades. It was considered a good trade route as it had many passes through which uh, caravans traveled traveled to what is today called Tibet. These caravans carried textiles and spices, raw silk and carpets. So further, now to discuss more diversity. Buddhism reached Tibet via Ladakh. Ladakh is also called Little Tibet. Islam was introduced in this region more than 400 years ago, and there is a significant Muslim population here. Ladakh has a very rich oral tradition of songs and poems. Local version of the Tibetan national epic and Kesar Shang are performed and sung by both Muslim and Buddhism. Now we have to discuss about the Kerala, how Kerala is diverse state and rather than other states of India. So Kerala is a state in the southwest corner of India. It is surrounded by the sea on the side and hill on the other. A number of species like spices, spices like pepper, cloves, and cardamoms are grown on the hills. It is spices that made this region and an attractive place for traders. The first time the traveler of Europe, who is known as Vasco da Gama, who invented a new route to came in India, had come into the Kerala to port of Kerala, that is Calicut. So he was reached at the same estate Kerala. Jewish and Arab traders were the first Jews, and the Arab traders were the first come here. The apostle of Christ, Sant Thomas is believed to have come here nearly nearly 2000 years ago. He is carried with the bringing Christianity to India. Many Arab trades also came and settled down here. Ibn Battuta, Battuta, who traveled here a little less than 700 years ago, wrote a travel travelogue in which he described the lives of Muslims and says that they were a highly respected community. The Portuguese discovered the sea's route to India. Portugal. Vasco da Gama was Portuguese. Portuguese discovered the sea route to India from Europe when Vasco da Gama landed with his ship here. Because of the because of all these various historical influences, people in Kerala practice different religions such as Juda, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism. The Finnish nets used here look exactly like Chinese fishing nets and are called China Wala. China Wala. When the utensil used for frying is called the China Chati, and it is believed that the word Chin could have come from China. The fertile land and climate are suited to growing rice, and majority of people here eat rice, fish and vegetables. While Kerala and Ladakh are quite different in terms of their geographical features, the history of both regions has seen similar culture influence, cultural influences. Both regions were influenced by China and Arab trades. It was the geography of Kerala which allows for the cultivation of spices, and a special geographical location of Ladakh and its wool that drew traders to this region. Thus, history and geography are often tied in the cultural life of region. The influence of diverse cultures is not merely is a thing of the past. Our present lives are also about moving from place to place, from work, and with each move our cultural tradition and way of life slowly become part of the new place we are in. Similarly, in our own neighborhood, we live close to people from several communities. Our daily lives are about the way in which we do things together and hear stories about each other's lives, customs, and traditions. Unity and diversity. India India's diversity has always been recognized as the source of its strength. When the British ruled India, women and men from the different cultural, religious, and the regional background come together to oppose them. India's freedom movement had thousands of people of different backgrounds in it. They worked together to decide joint action. They went to jail together and they found different ways to oppose the British. In, in, Interestingly, the British together they could divide India's because they were so different and then continue to rule them. But the people showed how they could be different and they be united in their battle against the British. Don't forget the days of blood, oh friend. In the midst of your happiness, remember to shed a tear for us. The hunter has turned away every single flower. Do plant a flower in the desert garden, dear friend. Having fallen to bull, bullets, we slept in the Jalin Jallianwala Bagh. Do light a lamp on this lonely grave of friend. The blood of Hindus and Muslims flow together today. Do soak your robe in this river of blood, dear friend. Some rot in the jails while other lies in their graves. Do shed a few tears for them, O friends. India's people, tears associated. The song was sung after the Jallianwala Bagh massacres in the Amritsar, in which a British general opened fire on the large group of unarmed peaceful people, killing many of wounding even more men and women. Hindus, Sikh, and Muslim, rich and poor, had gathered to protest against the British. The song was composed and sung to honor the memory of those brave people. In this book, Diversity of India, Jawaharlal Nehru said that India Indian unity is not something important from the outside, but rather it was something deeper than within its fold. The widest tolerance of the belief and custom was practiced, and every variety acknowledged and even encouraged. It was Nehru who coined the phrase unity is unity in diversity to describe the country. Songs and symbols that emerged during the freedom struggle serves as constant reminder of our country's rich tradition of respect for diversity. Do you know the story of the India's flag? It was used as the symbol of protest against the British by people everywhere. India's national anthem, composed by Rabindranath Tagore, in another expression of the unity of India. In what way does the national anthem describe this unity? This is a question, highlighted question in this book, and this is blue line. So now we have questions, and it was end of this chapter, and now we will move to the second chapter. But first, we should try to see or analyze the questions. The first question: draw up a list of different festivals celebrated in your locality. Which of these celebrations are shared by members of different regional and religious community? Good. What do you think living in India with its rich heritage of diversity adds to your life? Do you think the term unity and diversity is appropriate term to describe India? unity and diversity. Maybe. What do you think Nehru is trying to say about India unity in the sentence quote above from this book, The Diversity of India? And he said unity and diversity, and also said it was something deeper than within its fold. The the widest tolerance of belief and custom was practiced, and every variety acknowledged and ever encouraged. Underline the line of the poem sung after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which, according to your, reflect India's essen- essential unity. Choose another reason in India and do a similar study of the historical and geographical factors that influence the diversity found. These are these historical and geographical factors connected to each other, and how? Hmm. Every geographical and historical factors are connected, and also they affect to each other too. So now we have to deep dive into diversity and discrimination, the second chapter. In the previous chapter, you have discussed the meaning of diversity. Sometimes people who are different from others are teased, laughed at, or not included in the certain activity or group. We feel hurt, angry, helpless, or sad when friends or others treat us in such a way. Have you ever wondered why this happens? In this chapter, we will try and explore how such experiences are related to the society we live in. We will look at how they are connected to the inequalities that exist around us, difference and prejudice, prejudice. Hmm. There are many things that make us what we are, how we live, the languages we speak, what we eat, wear, the games we play, and the things we celebrate. All these are influenced both by the geographical and the history of the place where we live. You will get an idea of how diverse India is if you look every belief at the following statement. There are 8 major religions in the world. Every single one of them is practiced in India. We have more than 1600 languages that are people's mother tongue, and there are more than 100 dance forms. Hmm. Yet this diversity is not always celebrated. This is because we feel safe and secure with the people who look, talk, dress, and think like us. Hmm. This is the psychological fact. Yeah. We feel safe and secure with the people who looks, talk, dress, think like us. Mm. A similar parallelity. Mm. Means parallelity makes uh, people safer and secure. Mm. Sometimes when we meet people who are very different from us, we may find them strange and unfamiliar. At time We may not understand or know the reasons why they are different from us. People also form certain attitudes and opinions about others who are not like them. Good. Pre prejudice prejudice. Hmm. Look at the statement below that you believe to be true about rural and urban life in India. Trick Tick marks those that you agree with. Do you have prejudice against rural or urban people? What is the meaning of prejudice? I don't know, brother. And also, I can't search this time because the searching system is recording this time. But we move forward. But it is a little more uh, idea that what may to prejudice can be. Do you have a prejudice against rural or urban people? Find out if this is shared by others and discuss the reasons why people have these prejudice. Can you list some of the prejudice that you have noticed around you? How do they affect the ways in which people treat each other? On rural people, more than 15% of Indians live in village. People in village do not like to use modern technology. In the peak harvesting and plantation season, families spend 12 to 14 hours working in the field. That is also true. Villagers are forced to marriage to cities in the search of work. This is also true. On not true of 50%. On the urban people, life in the city is easy. People here are spoiled and lazy. No, not at all. In the cities, families spend very little time with each other, maybe or may not. It depends on situations. People in cities only care about money, not about people. Hmm, we can't say anything. Huh? Living in a city is expensive. A large part of people's earning is spent on rent and transport. Hmm, it is true. Some of these statements is village is ignorant and see people in the cities as money minded and lazy. When our opinions about certain people are always negative, seeing them as lazy, stingly as some of these statements, then these become prejudice that we carry about them. Prejudice means to judge other people negatively. We got it. Or see them as inferior is called prejudice. When we think that only one particular way is the best and the right way to do things, we often end up not respecting others who may perfect to do things differently. For example, if we think English is the best language and other languages are not important, we are judging these other languages negatively. As a result, we might not respect people who speak languages other than English. We can be prejudiced about many things. People's religious belief, mm, people's religious belief, the color of the skin and region they come from, the accent they speak in the accent accent also matters. the clothes they wear, etc. Often our prejudice about others are so strong that we don't want to form friendship with them. At times, we may even act in the way that hurt them, creating stereotypes. What is a stereotype? We will know this in this section. All of us are familiar with the gender difference. What does it mean to be a boy or a girl? Many of you would say we are born as boys and girls. It is a given. What is there to think about? Let's see if this is the case. Arrange the statement given below in these two sections according to what you think is appropriate for the section. They are well behaved, they are soft spoken and gentle, they are physically strong, they are naughty, they are good at dance and painting, they don't cry, they are rowdy. What is rowdy? They are good at a sport, they are good at cooking, they are emotional. uh, so we can classify uh, um, into two sectors according to the norms that are spread in our society. Those two sections, the actions of boys and the actions of girls, are specified by already most of the social norms and in general form. Now check with your teacher's help who has put which statement were. Find out the discuss people's reason for doing this. Are the qualities you put in for boys something that boys are born with? If we take a statement, they don't cry, you will see that this is a quality that generally associated with boys and men. As babies or children, when boys fall and hurt themselves, their parents and other family members often console them by saying, "Don't cry, you are a boy. Boy are brave. They don't cry." As children grows up, they start believing that boys do not cry, so that even if a boy feels like crying, he stops himself from doing so. He also believes that crying is a sign of weakness. So even though both boys and girls sometimes want to cry, especially if they are angrily or in pain. The people, all sorts of things. You look so you different. Is her mind okay? The children you see in the illustration here were seen the disabled. This term has been changed and now the term used in children with especially needs common stereotype about these are stereotype about them are given in a large letters. Their own feelings and thoughts too are given. Discuss what these children are saying about the stereotypes regarding them and why. Do you think children with the special needs should be a part of regular school or study in a separate school? Give reason for your answer. No, brother. Never, never, ever. Hmm. As they grow older, boys learn to teach themselves not to cry. If a grown boy cries, then he feels that others will either tease him or laugh at him, and so he stops himself from doing so in the front of others. This is the way boys are, and this is how girls are. These are a statement we hear constantly and accept without even thinking, and we start believing that each one of us must behave accordingly. We fit all boys and all girls into an image that society created around us. A greater thing. You can take other statements such as they are soft and gentle or they are well behaved and discuss how these are applied to girls. Do girls possess these qualities at birth, or do they learn such behavior from others? Of course, from others, from society. What do you think about girls who are not soft and gentle and those who are naughty? The same effect, societal effect. When we fix people into one image, that is a very dangerous thing. We should not decide a framework, a certain image tag sticker for anybody or any situation. We create a stereotype when people say that those who belong to a particular country, religion, sex, race, or economic background are extremely lazy, criminal, or dumb. They are using stereotype. They are extremely and generous people everywhere, in every country, in every religion, in every group, whether rich or poor, male or female, in just because people are like that, it is not fair to think that everyone will be the same. Stereotypes stop us from looking at each person as a unique individual with his or her own special qualities and skills that are different from others. They fit large numbers of people into only one pattern or type. Stereotypes affect all of us as they prevent us from doing certain things that we might otherwise be good at. Inequality and discrimination. Discrimination and inequality and discrimination happens when people acts on their prejudice or stereotype. If you do something to put others people down, if you stop them from taking part in a certain activities and taking up job, or stop them from living in certain neighborhood, prevent them from taking water from the same well or hand pump, or not allow them to drink teas in the same cups or glass as others. You are discriminating against them. Discrimination can take place because of several reasons. You probably recall from the previous chapter that Samir Ek and Samir Do were different from each other in many ways. For example, they belong to the different religion. This is an aspect of diversity. However, this diversity can also be source of discrimination. Group of people who may speak in certain language, follow a particular religion, live in a specific region, etc. Maybe discrimination against as their custom or practices may be seen as inferior. Another difference between the two Shamir and in their economic background. Shamir though was poor. This difference, as you have read earlier, this not a form of diversity but of inequality. People who are poor do not have the resources or the money to meet their basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. They experience discrimination in office, in hospitals, schools, etc., where they are treated badly because they are poor. Some people may experience both kinds of discrimination. They are poor and they belong to groups who clutter in clutter clutter is not valued. Tribals, some religious group, and even particular religions are discriminated against for one or more of these reasons. In the following section, we will look at how a famous Indian was discriminated against. This will help us understand the way in which caste was used to discriminate against large number of people. Dalit is a term that people belonging to so-called lower caste used to address themselves. They prefer this word to untouchable. Dalit, हम detail Dalit. Untouchable. Dalit means those who have been broken. This word, according to Dalit, shows how social prejudice and discrimination had broken the Dalit people. The government refers to this group of people as scheduled caste (SC). What is the difference between discrimination and stereotype? Stereotype means making a perception, making a specific image about anything else is called stereotype. And on the basis of stereotype, uh, behaving differently from different people can be called discrimination. How do you think a person who is discriminated against might feel? Very bad. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, one of the greatest leader of India, shares his first experience of the caste basis discrimination which took place in 1901 when he was just 9 years old. He had gone with his brothers and cousin to meet his father in Koregaon, which is now in the Maharashtra. Long did he went, but not one turned up. An hour elapsed, and the station master came to inquiry. He asked us for our tickets. We showed them to him. He asked us why we tried. We told him that we were born for Koregaon, and that we were waiting for father or his servant to come, but that neither had turned up and that we did not know how to reach Koregaon. We were well dressed children. From our dress or talk, no one could make out that we were children of the untouchables. Indeed, the station master was quite sure we were Brahmin children and was exactly touched at the light in which we found us. As It usual among the Hindus, the station master asked us who we were. Without a moment's thought, I blustered out we were Mahar. Mahars. Mahar is one of the community which were treated as untouchables in Bombay presidency. He was stunned, his face un- underwent and sudden change. We could see that he was overpowered by a strange feeling of repulsion. As soon as he heard my reply, he went away to his room and we stood where we were. 15 or 20 minutes elapsed. The sun was the sun was almost setting. Our father had not turned up, nor had he sent his servant, and now the station master had also left us. We were quite bewildered, and the joy and happinesses which we felt at the beginning of the journey gave way to feeling of extreme sadness. After half an hour, the station master returned and asked us what we proposed to do. We said that if we could get a block cart on there, we would go to Koregaon, and if it was not very far, we would like to start straight away. There was many bull cart playing for here, but my reply to the station master that we were Mahars had gone round among the cart men are not one of them was prepared to suffer being polluted and to demon himself carrying passengers of the untouchable classes. We were prepared to pay doubt the face, but we found that money did not work. The station master who was negotiating on our behalf stood silent, not knowing what to do. Source Bhimrao Ambedkar writing and the Speeches Volume 12 edition. Vashant Moon Bombay Educational Department Government of Maharashtra. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar 1891 to 1956 is considered the father of Indian Constitution and it is also the best known leader of Dalits. The Ambedkar's father for fought for the rights of Dalit community. He was born into the Mahar caste which was considered untouchable. The Mahars were poor, owned not land and children born to them also has to do work their parents did. They lived in spaces outside the main village and were not allowed into the village. Dr. Ambedkar was the first person from his caste who completed his college education and went to England to become a lawyer. He encouraged Dalit to send their children to a school and college. He also urged Dalit to take a different kind of government job in order to move out of the caste system. He led many efforts to Dalit to gain entry into temples. Later in life, he covered to Buddhism in his search for religion and that treated members equally. Dr. Ambedkar believed that the Dalit must fight the caste system and work towards a society based on respect, not just for a few but for all persons. That's the true religion. So that's for today, and we will discuss tomorrow the striving for equality. Hmm.